The field of 68 put together a consensus way too early top 25, although we might be able to drop way too early at this point because, I feel like way too early is mostly in April when rosters are truly not set. Now the rosters are like kind of set, you know?
Well, I think like there should be segments, like there's four quarters and I feel like you dropped the way part at this point. It's still too early, but it ain't way too early.
Yeah, I would argue it's just early. Like we had the way too early. Now it's the early top 25, and then in like September we just get the top 25. But anyway, point is, shout out to the Field of 68. I believe this was a Mike Miller project who runs the Field of 68 daily. Love Mike Miller, and it's great. They took the top 25 updates from themselves, the Field of 68, ESPN, CBS, Sports Illustrated, The Athletic, and then College Hoops Today and then compile them together, average them out, and spit out a consensus top 25. Worth noting, I believe 17 teams in the country got a vote in all six of the rankings. So there's 17 teams that are basically bona fide top 25, and then there's a lot of debate from there of who could fill out the bottom eight spots in these polls. I'm going to read the consensus just through one time, and then I'd like to go through this team by team and do what we did in the Bleacher Report room yesterday for anyone who didn't watch that. Reminder, we do a live show every day at 12:30 p.m. Eastern for 30 minutes on the Bleacher Report app. So you can get more content from us there if you would like. But we'll go team by team and basically say, is each team more likely to outperform or underperform relative to where they are in the consensus top 25? The consensus ranking is Houston 1, Purdue 2, Florida 3, UConn 4, St. John's 5, BYU 6, Michigan 7, Texas Tech 8, Duke 9, Kentucky 10. Outside the top 10, we have Louisville, UCLA, Auburn, Arkansas, Arizona. Iowa State, Illinois is 17th. Kansas and Alabama tied for 18. Gonzaga 20. Michigan State 21. Tennessee, Wisconsin, Creighton, and Oregon round out our top 25. Given how our Bleacher Report room went yesterday, we can obviously be wordy at times. So let's really try to keep our analysis to like 1 to 2 sentences for each team here to get through all 25. But we start at the top. Houston, the only way they could go is down. How likely are they to underperform being the number one team in the country?
I mean, I think given the fact that they are the number one team in the country with all this hype coming in, it just leaves them more room to underperform. Um, and look, I like what the vets they have coming back. They do have a lot of young talent on that team, and sometimes you never really know what's going to be with that young talent. So, I mean, given their spot, I feel like you got to say underachieve, right?
There's no other logistical way to do it. But I would say this more than any other team, it makes sense Houston at 1. I think they're the least likely of the top teams to underachieve at all
Yeah,
because just look at what they've done the last 5 years. They've been a
right,
KenPom top 2 team for 5 years in a row.
right.
Like, and this is his most talented version with Milos Uzan back too. Like, so deserving at 1. I will say it's very interesting. Purdue got 4 first place votes here out of the 6 polls. And Purdue is not the number one team. Houston only got 1 first place vote here. St. John's actually got a first place vote from CBS. But because Houston was voted second or third in all the rest of these, the aggregate number averaged them out to being ahead of Purdue because Purdue got tanked by Sports Illustrated. Sports Illustrated voted Purdue fifth.
Looking at you, Kevin Sweeney.
Yeah, it's crazy. Straight to Purdue, who does slot in second in the consensus, more likely to over or underperform at that number.
It's always a tough exercise with these teams at the top. I want to say over though, because I think they are on par with Houston as the number one team in the country, right? Like I still go back and forth. I think I currently have Houston as my number one team, but I mean, there's not many teams in the country that I think are bringing back, you know, someone who's going to possible national player of the year, possible two first team All Americans. They fixed their issues. The Final Four is in Indy. Like I think there's just a better chance to overachieve.
Yeah, if you're giving me like second or first versus like third or worse, I would take second or first for Purdue. I guess that means we lean they're more likely to overachieve. Obviously, statistically, it's more probable Purdue would finish third or lower, but you and I are all the way in on the Purdue bandwagon at this point. I would have them number 2, like this poll does. I would have Houston number 1 right now. But I've said repeatedly, Purdue's my title pick. I'm picking them in March further than I'm picking Houston. At 3, we have the Florida Gators. Gator boys stay hot. This is one that's easy for me. They're more likely to underperform. top three in the country. I think this is more likely a fifth through 10th best team in the sport. I don't know that the three big thing is going to work, to be honest. I love the backcourt and I love the names in the front court, but it could be clunky like Alabama was last year.
Yeah, as much as I believe in Xavier Lee and Boogie Flan, I agree with the same points as far as fit. And, me playing the negative side of this, can't ignore the fact that Arkansas was better without Boogie Flan last year. And Xavier Lee is taking a step up in competition going from Princeton to the SEC. So, uh, you know, even the greats, like you look at what Walter Clayton did for Florida, he was there for 2 years, right? It took him. He was really good, don't get me wrong, but it did take him time to get to where Florida was. So, championship hangover as well with that. I think underachieve is the right answer.
Look at you bringing up the Boogie Fland, Arkansas experience. I'd never thought I'd hear you acknowledge that that happened.
Yeah, I just try to ignore it, but might as well just get it all out there, right?
Okay, I'm proud of you. At number four, we have Dan Hurley and the Yukon Huskies.
Does the Knicks job factor into this one at all?
Up to you.
Um, I am gonna go overachieve. I really like this roster. I like this team a lot. I like Dan Hurley in a bounce back spot. They had the down year last year, and they had the national champions on the ropes. I just think they filled a lot of holes. I like the backcourt. I like the freshman talent a lot. Massive Ryby and Braylon Mullins guy. Solomon Ball back. I just think they're gonna be really good. Caravan back too.
I agree. I don't really have questions with them. I think they addressed the defense. Ryby's going to be a big time shot blocker. I think their guards are good defenders, Demery and Malachi Smith. I really have zero questions with this roster, where last year there were questions everywhere with weaknesses. So to me, yeah, more likely to overachieve at four. I think that's a top three team in the country. St. John's at five. As we mentioned, CBS voted them first in the country. Field of 68 voted them ninth. The Athletic voted them 12th. So split opinions on the Johnnies here, more likely to over or underachieve the fifth spot in the country.
I'm gonna say underachieve. I just think there's a lot of new pieces, and when I looked to last year with St. John's, their bread and butter was defense, right? It was defense. It was playing extremely hard, and obviously the season ended on a sour note because they literally could not score and could not put the ball in the basket. Patino went and fixed that, but like, what's that gonna look like? Because that's not really his identity, I guess, is what was really successful last year. Um, yeah, so I just a lot of new pieces. I'm gonna say underachieve.
Yeah, I think it's clunky. They got a lot of like isolation scorer types. Bryce Hopkins is great and gives them a floor that's pretty high, but yeah, I agree. This is a team I'm willing to sell at five. I'm shocked CBS has them first. Like that's a baffling thing to me, right?
I don't think that St. John should be in consideration for the best team in the country.
Even if St. John's hits their ceiling, I have a hard time believing they're better than Houston or Purdue.
Yeah, their ceiling to me is at Mac. Honestly, really bright side third.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, six is BYU. This feels right to me for BYU. Like, I mean, talent wise, you could argue top five for sure. With some inexperienced questions and just how does it all fit together, six is probably a safe landing spot. I wouldn't put them any lower than this, but I don't know. Where do you lean their season will go?
I'm gonna say overachieve. I'm not short selling myself with BYU this year. I just think that the roster is really good. I believe in Coach Young, and give me a starting lineup of Rob Wright, Moo, Richie Saunders, Keba Keita. Got some bench talent as well on the team. I'm buying. I think overachieve.
The thing is, you start to go through this. If you're gonna say underachieve for BYU here, name me the five teams you're taking over BYU. And for me, it's like Houston, Purdue, UConn. Okay. You get to Florida, and I'm like, Duke, Kentucky, Like this is a good roster. However
Mm.
you feel about the Banter, Richie Saunders is one of the best players in the country. Rob Wright is like a breakout star candidate at point guard. Kevin Keita's back. I'm just going to bank on Kevin Young figuring it out. I do think they'll be a top five team and they will overachieve. We've agreed a lot on this. It's starting to scare me. Number seven, my Michigan Wolverines. Can I go first on this one?
Of course.
I think it's underachieve, and I think it's confidently underachieve here. I won't be shocked if they do finish seventh in the sport, but to me, that's a pretty best case scenario outcome. There's a lot of shooting questions with this team. I've got Cadeau questions. I mean, no matter what you feel, this may be the best front court in the sport with Yaxel and Merez and Mara. It's still a huge bet on Elliot Cadeau. I don't know what that's going to look like. I said this on the Bleacher app. I wasn't sure if I would say it on the channel, but I'm going to do it. The Michigan hype is giving me a little bit of Indiana last year flashbacks.
Mm.
And I want to make a clear distinction. If Dusty May coached Indiana last year, I think they would have been a top 25 team. I don't think Indiana's roster was the problem. It was Mike Woodson. But I would just put this team in the teens, I think, right now, and not seventh in the country.
Yeah, I'm gonna go underachieve as well, just because I think it to me there's a real big kind of floor ceiling of this team depending on I think the shooting, like you mentioned, and the point guard play, right? And also front court is very, very talented. Um, you also, I think, you have a for sure thing in the Axel. Even like Merez, I think, is like a pretty sure thing to at least give you a certain level. But I think we believe that Merez can be even better than he has showed, right? So it's kind of like I think underachieved, just given the kind of the same reasons you said.
This video is brought to you by NBA 2KLab.com. 2K Lab worked with us last summer as well. They're one of our favorite entities in all of sports gaming. We want to show you their college basketball stadium locator challenge game. And I'm going to share a screen right now as we do this. South Carolina, bang. Oh,
Ooh,
okay, that's pretty good. Next, North Carolina. Why are we only getting the Carolinas?
please
Bang.
lock in.
St. John's, that's New
New
York.
York.
Bang.
Where's New Jersey?
We're on fire. Colorado. I actually don't know what state Colorado is.
It's in Colorado. There's a state of
Is that
Colorado.
this one?
It's to the right of Phoenix.
Anyway, you get the picture. This game's really fun. They've got more games as well, like Guess the NBA Player, Mystery Fantasy Draft, and more. Stay tuned for all of the college football content and games that they'll be putting together to help you get the best experience out of college football 26. Back to the video. Yeah, it's just a bet on Cadeau. Like, Cadeau's got to take a leap for this team to be seventh in the country, I think. And
So, quick question here, not to hold us up here. Cadeau stays the same. What does Michigan look like?
they need some guard to break out if Cadeau stays the same. Like
Okay.
if Cadeau doesn't take a leap, then LJ Kaysen needs to, or Trey
Mhm.
McKenney needs to be a star. Now again, I think there's a lot of different bets that could happen. Like it's not like they don't have options for
See,
breakout candidates.
that's the thing for me. Like, if Cadeau doesn't work out, let's say, or it's not going well, do you just like give Kaysen the keys
You could. You
and then hope
basically, I mean, I think Cadeau's going to play a lot anyway, but because Cadeau, if Cadeau stays who he is, he's still one of the best passers in the sport.
passers?
But
Yeah.
like, they need some guard to be like an all Big Ten candidate, whether that's Cadeau or Kaysen or God forbid, I don't know, Roddy Gale lives up to his ceiling. I don't know, but yeah, a lot of questions. To me, seventh feels closer to the best case outcome. I'll take underachieve. Let's go quicker. Truly, 1 to 2 sentences. The rest of this just to get through it. Texas Tech at 8.
Uh, Under roster questions outside of the big guys.
Oh, you did it.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you. Yeah, three guys, good team, but I think they're the Purdue from last year, and Purdue ended up outside the top 10 for most of the season. Duke at 9, I will buy that they outperform this. The Boozers are winners, and I love everything they've done on the wings this offseason. It's great.
Yeah. Over the thing people don't want to say out loud is that Cam Boozer might be Paolo Banchero.
Yeah, right, right. I really can't process how this team is like ninth in the polls preseason. They should be like a guaranteed top 5 to me.
Yeah. I think Brotherhood would likes the position they're in though. A little underdog.
It's
A little
kind of
doubt.
strange. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Kentucky at 10.
I think Kentucky's a top like 8 team in the sport, maybe like the fifth best team in the sport. So I'm gonna say overachieve.
10 feels right. I would lean that they overachieve as well. I think the SEC being a little bit down from what it was last year is also part of my prognostication here. Like there's only one team in the SEC that I like the roster of more than Kentucky. It's Florida. And I don't think Kentucky's far off Florida at all. So yeah, give me overachieve. Louisville at 11. I also think they're likely to overachieve.
I'm gonna say overachieve as well. L's up.
Yeah, I think that trio of Pat Kelsey, Mark Pope, Dusty May, and I guess you could throw Kevin Young in that. Second year coaches, like, are they sort of taking over the sport this year, or are they taking a step back? You know,
Yeah, first year was there. Now it's kind of see like which one's gonna break through first.
four guys in the top 11 in their second year at their big boy program. And like, if they all live up to that, we're talking the new era is here, I think. And those are the
Mhm.
faces of it. UCLA at 12. This is another one. I think they're going to overachieve. I think this is a top 10 team.
I think I'm gonna say underachieve uh off of this. I'm out on Mick Cronin, man. I get it. I understand it. I don't know. I can't get with that. How many games is it gonna be before he throws Donovan Dent under the bus?
He's not because Donovan Dent's going to play well.
But there's gonna be a moment where he does something where he doesn't, and Mick's gonna be the first person to throw him under the bus.
He wasn't doing that to Juzang. He wasn't doing that to Hawkes. He doesn't do that to his good players. He does it to
He actually does though.
He does it to the Dylan Anderses of the world, and respectfully, those guys are gone. This is the first one we disagree on. I love that. We're in consensus. I just think Donovan Dent's awesome. Mick Cronin gives you a really high floor defensively. I think that retaining the front court pieces was great, and I buy like Trent Perry as a breakout guy. I don't know. I see the vision here. I think they'll end up like 10th, ninth in the country, which is better than 12th. Two in SEC back to back here. Auburn at 13. What you got?
I'm gonna say underachieved. They strike me as more like the 16th, 17th best team in the country, which is kind of picking hairs here, but I'm gonna say underachieve.
I think there's a world that Auburn is the team that falls out of the top 25 if you're looking for like who's the team that could completely fall off the radar here. Pettiford being back saves them in my mind, but it saves them from being like the 35th best team in the sport into the 20s. So, front court, I do not like for Auburn this year. We'll see what it looks like. Arkansas at 14. I'm going to sell on the Razorbacks as well here. I don't know. Just some questions for me on how it all comes together.
I'm going to buy it because I buy Coach Cal with elite guard play, and I think that Darius Acuff is elite. I think Malik Thomas can be elite. They got Carter Knox back. Uh, Wagner's like somewhere in there, but like I think overachieve.
They're one that I don't feel super strongly about, but I think my pitch would be it plays out similarly to last year, where they have a lot of ups and downs in the regular season that prevent them from being this high. And then in March, if it all comes together, they make a deep run in the tournament. So
Fair.
Arizona at 15 is one of my absolute favorite overperforms on the board here. I think this roster is top seven in the sport. They should probably be ranked where Michigan is.
Yeah. To take one of your greatest Gregisms, as I like to say, I am listening to that and I am running to the podium to buy this.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to. It's inexperience. Is that why we think they're ranked this low? Like people just don't want to believe that Cole Pete and Dwayne Aristode are good. Brady
Yeah, sick.
Murray's.
How about talent? How about good at basketball? How about good at basketball? Is a basketball team going to play basketball?
Also, like Jaden Bradley and Krivas are back. Like it's not like they don't have players back. I don't know. I love that
I
team.
need to listen to I'm not making this long. I need to listen to who is like low on Arizona so I can actually hear reasons why.
Field of 68 ranked him 24th.
Well, I'm going to text Rob after this and I'm going to ask him like what is this?
He's hopefully he's having a glass of wine in Italy right now. I hear he's out of the country. We'll see. Apparently you have to go out of the country when you say that Kentucky should be the number one team in the sport and rank them seventh 4 minutes later. Iowa State at 16.
I'm going to underachieve. Underachieve. I think they lost their best guards. I'm not a Taman Lipsey guy. Is Momcilovic actually that good, or is he supposed to be good? I'm gonna just underachieve.
I'm going to buy an odds bounce back. I don't really have a great reason why, other than I still believe in Momcilovic and Jefferson. But just give me like I could see odds teams finishing like 12th every single year, no matter who the players are. And I think people have swung too low because last year was disappointing. 17, we've got Illinois. Where are you at with the Illini here?
Ooh, I'm a I'm gonna say overachieve. I'm gonna say overachieve. I'm buying Stojakovic. I'm buying Petro Boomin. They got some continuity with Boswell in the fold. And I think Big T's good.
I got too many questions with the team. I don't think they addressed the shooting. I think they lost Kasparis and Riley, the only two guys on the team that made shots other than Big T. And filled them with guys that make shots less than they do. Stojakovic hasn't done that. Petro has not been a prolific 3-point shooter in Europe. So I think I want to see it. I think they're a top 25 team, but I lean more 20s than I do top 15 for now. We'll see. 18 and 19 was a tie. We got Kansas and Alabama. Who's going to over and underachieve there?
I'm gonna say Alabama. Sorry, I'm gonna say Kansas overachieves. Just give me. I'm buying Darren Peterson, Flory being good. Just a great combo. And then as far as Bama, I'm gonna say overachieve, and a lot of that is based on like Osa's. Like, when's the last time Osa's just been bad in the regular season?
Um, Not really ever in recent, but he's had such better talent, I think, than this.
I like the talent more than you like the talent.
Yeah, I don't know. I think like who's their best front court guy?
Probably Williamson. But honestly, I'm more so buying like an Aiden Sherrill breakout.
Yeah, okay. I don't know. I don't know. I'm going big time overperform for Kansas. I like the bounce back for Peterson, Badunga, and role players. And then big time underperform for Alabama. I don't think this is a top 25 roster right now, even with Phylon back in the fold. To our final six here, Gonzaga at 20. This one I don't know what to do with. 20 feels about right.
20 feels about right. I am gonna say overachieve because I think that Graham Ike is gonna be one of the older, more productive, experienced guys, just kind of dominate. And they have a really old team, and I think old's still gonna hold strong.
Yeah, I have guard spot questions, but I don't know. I can't really imagine a world where Mark Few just like disappears from the radar here. So give me overachieve. Michigan State at 21.
Underachieve, I think I'm gonna say. To me, Michigan State right now, there's some questions, and they feel to me more like a 32nd best team in the country, or like 30th.
I think you could I think you could argue this roster is like the 50th best roster in the sport, but you could have made the same argument last year, and then the Jace breakout happened, and things we didn't see coming happened. So, look, if they're going to live up to 21st in the country, I think it almost necessitates somebody being way better than we imagine. And I don't know who it will be. It could be Kurtang, it could be Trey Fort, it could be Caleb Glenn, it could be one of the returnees. I don't know. I don't love the options for that this year. Like I think Cam Ward is really the only one that I'd be like if he became a one and done, I'd be like I could kind of see that. I can't really see that with Kerr or or Trey Ford or any of the replacements they got for Jace here. So I don't know though. I feel so bad saying under because I really do just want to trust Izzo to like grind his way through it, and I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna take overachieve. I think this team will probably finish like 17th with Jackson Kohler averaging a double double, and we'll all be like, "How the hell did that happen?"
I can see it.
All right, Tennessee at 22.
Overachieve. Trick
Yeah,
Barnes.
yeah, big over for me too. I love Jacoby Gillespie. Like this feels way too much of an overreaction here. I don't know why. Wisconsin at 23.
I'm gonna say overachieve. I like the Nick Boyd ad. I like just the Boyd Blackwell backcourt, to be honest with you. And then they got some pieces in the front court returning with Winter, and Greg Gard's good.
Me too. Put Wisconsin in the teens, finish fourth in the league. I think that's coming. Creighton at 24 is one you and I strongly disagree on. I don't see this team anywhere close to a top 25 team, and you love them.
Yeah, but besides Arizona, this is my biggest like I'm buying. Creighton's going to be a top 10 team in the country.
Top 10?
Top 10.
Goodness. All right. Yeah, I don't see it. I think they just took the guys that got Fran McCaffrey fired, and they might get Greg McDermott fired at the end of this year. We'll see. But I think bubble team for them. You think top 10? We'll see who's right. 25, the Oregon Ducks. Jackson Shelstad, Nate Biddle back in action, but still a couple pieces away. Overachieve at 25, or are they not a top 25 team?
I was gonna say underachieve. To me, nothing else that really excites me besides Shellstad and Biddle. They got Simpkins, the transfer from Elon, but I don't know. I don't like the roster.
I think they'll crack the 20s, so I lean slight overachieve, but fringe top 25 feels right for them. All right, in summary, long exercise there, but name me two or three teams you are most expecting to overachieve or feel the strongest about that they will relative to where they are, and then give me the same on the underachieve side.
Three of them.
However many you want. Yeah.
Okay. I'll go Creighton, Arizona, and Creighton, Arizona, and Duke is like my biggest. I think they'll overachieve teams. Underachieve, I'm gonna go St. John's. I'm gonna go ooh, St. John's for sure, and then I think I'll probably go UCLA, and that's probably it for my underachieve. I think that I feel like super good about.
All right, for overachieve for me, Duke, Arizona, Tennessee. So we agree on two of them, but I'm adding Tennessee. For
For that,
underachieve, St. John's, I agree on, and then Auburn and Alabama for me.
it's a good choice.